I would like to address my questions to Attorney Abad. Attorney Abad, please help me address or allay the fears and distrust in the amendment process para po maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan sa simple at malinaw na paraan at maisantabi po natin ang pangamba nila sa pag-amyenda ng economic provisions. As a lawyer, Attorney Abad, may I know, alam niyo po ba kung sino ang mga sumulat ng 1987 Constitution?
Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, generally the members of the Constitutional Commission of 1986.
So it was a constitutional commission, not a CONCON,
That's
not
correct.
a constituent assembly composed of members of Congress,
That's correct.
and not through a people's initiative.
That's
It
correct.
was a
Fully
constitutional
appointed
commission.
yeah.
And that constitutional commission, in its report, the members of the Constitutional Commission were not elected, but rather appointed by President Corazon Aquino. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I have been reading the journal and the minutes of the Constitutional Commission, and they approved the draft constitution, and it was approved by a majority of the voters in 1987. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
That's correct. So, in passing the 1987 Constitution, hindi po natin sinunod ang 1973 Constitution, which was in full force and effect during people power in 1986. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's correct. Let's go to the 1973 Constitution. Are you familiar with the case of Javeliana versus Executive Secretary, 50 SCRA, page 30?
Generally, Your Honor, it's a long time since I studied it.
According to Javeliana versus Executive Secretary, a leading case for the 1973 Constitution, inaprubahan po hindi ng sambayanang Pilipino sa paraan ng plebisito as required by the 1935 Constitution, kundi inaprubahan ang 1973 Constitution sa isang barangay assembly na pinili kung sino ang mga taong pwede bumoto at inuphold ng Supreme Court ang paraan ng pag-aproba ng 1973 Constitution. Tama po ba ako?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, in short, dalawang beses na po tayo sa ating bansa na hindi lang nag-amyenda ng konstitusyon, but we revised a constitution entirely. So we will have new constitutions, the 1973 Constitution and the 1987 Constitution. At inuphold ng Supreme Court ang 1973 Constitution at hindi naman kinwestiyon ng sambayanang Pilipino ang 1987 Constitution. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And right now, we are proposing to amend only 3 provisions of the 1987 Constitution in the hope that it will lift our economy. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Tama po ba akong sabihin na maliit po na bagay ang pag-amyenda ng 3 probisyon kesa pag-revise ng 2 buong konstitusyon na tinanggap naman ng sambayanang Pilipino? Do you agree with me?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So it should be clear enough na ang pagpalit ng konstitusyon natin, 2 beses tayong nag-aproba ng buong bagong konstitusyon at tinanggap naman natin. At it has been 36 years that we've had this constitution, and it should allay the fears of the Filipinos na hindi natin babaguhin kung hindi 3 lamang na probisyon para magbago ang ating ekonomiya. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Abad. May I address my next question to former Senator Gringo Honasan? As a former elected official, payag po ba kayong bitawan ng Senado at ng Kongreso ang karapatan nating mag-regulate ng public utilities, advertising, at education sector kung maaprubahan ang ating amendments sa ating konstitusyon.
Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, sang-ayon po ako doon dahil yung kapangyarihan na yan ay nasa kamay po ng lehislatura.
Tama po. If we amend the economic provisions or the three economic provisions under the 1987, dapat malinaw po sa ating sambayanan na hindi po binitawan ng Senado at ng Kongreso ang karapatan natin to regulate and put the right safeguards in passing bills and laws para maitama po natin ang mga industriyang ito. Senator Honasan, also help me allay the fears and the distrust in this process of putting the phrase unless otherwise provided by law in the Constitution. Hindi po ba na kapag ilalagay natin sa kamay ng Kongreso at ng mga senador ang poder para mag-regulate at magsabi kung anong nararapat na pagmamay-ari ng mga dayuhan, hindi ba dapat paghamon ito sa sambayan ng Pilipino na bumoto sila ng mga tamang congressman at senador, honest, competent, and trustworthy members of Congress, at huwag nilang ibenta ang boto nila para ang mga nakaupong congressman at senador ay yung mga taong pinagkakatiwalaan nila at hindi yung mga pinagdududahan nila. Tama po ba?
Tama po yun, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. At tama rin po, sangayon ako dun sa sinabi ninyo, na ang kapangyarihang yan ay nasa kamay din ng taong bayan.
I could not agree with you more. So it must be clear na hindi lang po Kongreso ang involved sa pagpalit ng ating konstitusyon. Rather, it is a challenge to every Filipino to vote and to elect the right representatives and senators to take care of our economy, of our interests, and our Constitution. May I ask for the last 2 minutes, Attorney Joseph Estrada of EDCOM, please help give us a brief understanding of our formal education history. Am I correct to say na nagsimula ang ating educational system noong panahon ng Espanyol at ng mga Amerikano? Is that correct?
Tama po.
And the institutions put up by both the Spanish and the Americans are here until now, like the University of Santo Tomas, where we both graduated, by the Dominicans, Ateneo, by the Jesuits, and the University of the Philippines, no less, which was founded by the American Occupational Government through Ratification Act number 1870 in 1908. Dito po nakasalalay ang ating educational system, pati po ang curriculum ng ating public educational system. Has it ever affected the nationalism of Filipinos dahil founded by the Spanish, by the Americans, ang ating mga educational system? As EDCOM, do you believe that it has affected our nationalism?
It has not affected, Mr. Speaker,
And do
because,
you-
I'm sorry.
And do you agree with me that it's not the ownership, but rather it's the quality and the curriculum that's important in improving our education sector? Do you agree?
I agree, Mr. Speaker.
And do you also agree with me that once upon a time, we had the highest proficiency in English in all of Asia? Is that correct?
Correct.
And is it correct to say that in both the 2018 PISA and the 2022 PISA, isa tayo sa pinakakulelat sa English, mathematics, at science sa buong mundo? Is that correct? Yes or no?
That's correct.
Since the passage of the 1987 Constitution, do you agree with me that the quality of basic, secondary, and tertiary education in the Philippines has been regressing for the past 36 years?
That's the general observation po.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you for the 10 minutes that you have given me. I am honored to have asked questions to our resource persons. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Representative Lawrence R. Defensor.